Good morning, afternoon, evening, gamers. So, Dune Awakening. I feel like I've played it for, enough time to kind of get the gist of it. I do find there are a lot of similarities to Conan, which I don't personally think is, for me anyway, is a bad thing. I really like Conan. Dune, I don't, I don't remember the story. I read Dune, I don't know, a long time ago, so I don't really remember a lot of it. So that's. It's good in some ways because I can kind of run around and kind of try and like work out, what's going on in the world, which I quite enjoy. There's been quite a few server problems. I've also had some quite severe crashes, which not only has the game crashed, and I'm hoping that it doesn't happen whilst I'm recording this. I've had some hard crashes whereby I've had to hard reset my PC because my PC just won't respond. I haven't read anywhere though that that's happening to other people, but I have heard other people have been like having crashes, have been having server problems. So it's difficult to determine what's the cause. Maybe my PC is playing up, but I was playing some Cyberpunk the other day. That was fine. I've been playing some modded Skyrim. That was fine. Oblivion Remastered, that was fine. It only seems to be this game that's been happening to so far. So I'm really not sure, but I don't want it to be a case of I'm just blaming the game or I don't know what the problem is. And until I do that, there's no point really assigning any blame. So this base isn't. I didn't build this base. This is a base that we are borrowing from our friend that is also playing. We're kind of in his guild. Lonix is his name. Lovely guy, and helped me helped me and Swift quite a bit to get the hornicopter, as I like to call it, the hornicopter going, and also to get us to this particular position. As you all know, I'm very, very slow. So if it had been left up to me, I would still be in the starter zone. And to be honest, I still need to go back there. Oh, actually, I did build a little base. I built a little sub base here, just whilst I went round, because I wanted to try and do all of this. So I've got 26 of 28 of these. Like these orange caves, and the wrecks, which I'm not a particular fan of, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And I've just been trying to go around and just finish Hagar Basin South area completion of 87%. So I would have still been doing this had it been me. But we got some help from our good friend Lonix, whose guild we're kind of in. to push up into this area, and then so now I've been sort of trying to do this area, so this area has, you know, the next sort of resources to make, you know, like the next things. I've only done about 53% of this sort of area so far, which I'm, yeah, a little bit upset about. And then up here actually I've managed to get to 75%, so pretty happy with that, I think. Finding a lot of different places. I did really struggle in the beginning with the combat. I mean, as most of you know, I'm more into the story. I like building, resource gathering, things like that. Fighting is it's one of those things. I'll do it because it progresses the story, but I have no real interest in it. And obviously everybody's different. Some people, that's their favorite part, and like, that's fine. Like, we can all like different things, but it's not really my thing. Particularly as I found it quite difficult, I didn't really understand the mechanics. I have gotten better at it, and learning again with our good friend Lonix's help which weapons work better. I've been using the sniper rifle, which does poison as well, which really does help quite a bit. So I've been doing a lot better at the combat. I was shying away from it for quite a while because I was like, I don't know, like there was a quest here. I believe it was this one over here. There was a quest here, testing station number 10, and we had to kill something Hiller, I think her name was, and the dungeon was it was quite long. It was like really long, and I tried it before and I got about halfway and then I got killed, and then it was taking me quite a long time to take down. Oh, shut up, phone. I don't like you anyway, so don't bother me. And it was taking me quite a long time to take down enemies because I would have to go in there, like, try and like shoot one of them, then the shielded ones with blades would come at me, so I'd then have to retreat, get them kind of on their own because the other ones are just shooting the hell out of you. Try and take that one down and then like move back, and it was just taking me a very long time. And so of course by the time I died, which was about halfway through, and started back near the entrance, like some of the enemies had respawned again, so then I was going to have to fight through them, and I was having quite a bad time of it. But I've been doing better recently, you know, trying to do, you know, okay, trying to get these, you know, these numbers up. I mean, this one over here is only like 21%, which is dire. So I've been trying to do a lot of that, having a reasonable time, I would say. Obviously, I'm feeling like we're getting to the point now where we can move up to our good friend Lonix and up his way. He's up here. So, you know, we could probably come up here and build. And I think this is before the deep desert, I think. I don't know if the deep desert's over there somewhere. Or I don't know where it is, I'll be honest with you. But, yeah. I've still got Pinnacle Station, yeah, so we're doing that. So I've been doing better. Managed to get like a lot of these things done, but obviously the crashing hasn't been helping because anything that's having to hard reset my PC, I really don't like that. But again, it's been pretty warm in the UK. My apartment is quite small. It only has one window, and if the breeze doesn't come in through that window, I'm pretty much done for. So it gets really hot in here. I think one week it was about 40 42 Celsius in here, and I was just baking, so I was not having a good time. And obviously my PC's probably not having a good time either, so it could have been some of that. So I'm not necessarily blaming the game, and I haven't heard of it happening to other people, but then finding information about games, there's lots of different forums spread out all over the place. So I don't know if it's been happening. So if you are somebody who's been playing this game and you've been having crashes, like I'd love to, I'd love to know, what's been going on down below. Do or do not, like it's entirely up to you. So yeah, so we didn't build this place. We just borrowing it from our friend. I built this up here. I built like a little outdoor area, and I built like these little bedrooms. I built one for Swift, but I don't know if Swift is necessarily enjoying the game. He never particularly liked Conan. I thought he might like this one more because it's guns. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not a bad game. One of the things I have seen, there has been a lot of divide, I would say, is the fact that I think most people, myself included, assumed that this was mostly a PvE game. Now, to be fair, Conan had PvP, but it had separate servers, so you could go through the public servers, and you could pick PvE or PvP, and it was a good way for them to have the best of both worlds. With this game, I feel like they kind of got that wrong. A lot of people assumed it was a PvE game, and then they started trying to push this PvP. And the problem is that PvP and PvE players are not the same. They're just not. They want very, very different things, and forcing the two together generally doesn't go very well. So yeah, that's been causing some problems. The PvP players are not happy because they want more PvP. I don't know if they're kind of underrepresented in games. I know in a lot of MMOs tend to have PvP like separate areas for people who like that, and then PvE for those who don't. I think just how they've gone about it is, rather than just having separate servers, they've tried to push everybody together, and I don't think that works. Nobody's happy. The PvPers aren't happy. The PvEers aren't happy. And there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of talk in forums. Oh, here they go, all shooting at each other. Very, very noisy neighbours. But yeah, it seems like nobody's been happy with just the way they went about it. And this is something that Funcom seems to do. I sometimes feel like their name is kind of, I don't know, it's maybe you forgot, the fun somewhere along the way, because they seem to do things which don't really vibe with. They say one thing and then they tend to try and do another. Pushing different types of players together it doesn't work. Never has, and I don't think it would ever would, because different people want different things. Gamers aren't the same. I often think that that's something that people think. It's just like, oh yeah, like all gamers you know, like this, right? Like, no, not necessarily. So it's been. I feel like I feel like the game's had a rougher start than it probably needed to. The other thing is as well, and this is now. Normally, I would have played this by myself, but Lonix was already playing it, and some of his friends, some of them I know, some of them I don't, have been playing the game. Lonix, I think, was first out of everybody, and so he is so far ahead, and like everybody's like trying to play catch up, which doesn't help when I can't rely on the game to run properly, because hard resetting my computer is a hard no for me. Like I really don't like that, and generally your PC doesn't like being hard reset. It's not usually a good thing. This is Lonix's bedroom because this was his old base. There aren't, as far as I know, very many tile sets at the moment, like building sets. So far, from what I know, is the ones that there are in the game representing some of the different houses or factions. The Great Houses reminds me very much of Morrowind, and considering this game came first, I'm wondering if Elder Scrolls, the people creating the Elder Scrolls, whether they took some ideas from Dune. But yeah, so some of the different houses have different building sets, and so far you can buy them from gold. You can buy them for gold for vendors. I think there's one, the Harkonnen building set, which is kind of black with kind of lights on it, very futuristic looking. I believe that's like 80,000 gold, I think, and you can buy it. I'm guessing that Funcom at some point will start, trying to monetize and put out other building sets, possibly from other planets. I'm wondering as well if this is all it's going to be to the game, very much like they did with Conan. One of the things that I never understood about Conan is like, okay, so you play Conan and basically you're dropped into a prison, and you've got the bracelet on your arm, you have the cursed wall, and you have to escape. The story is the story's not great, and there's not a lot of hand holding, and a lot of people think that like no hand holding is good, but sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. It depends how it's handled. If a game just makes sense, you don't really need a lot of hand holding. However, if it doesn't make sense, then not having hand holding is just going to compound the design flaw. And probably you might want to watch somebody like Josh Strife Hayes, who seems to have a much better understanding of these things than I do. I don't really know. I can only tell you what I see and kind of what I feel, which might not be correct. And I don't know how to make games. I don't. So I'm just putting that out there. I can only tell you as somebody who really, really enjoys video games, but similarly seems to come into some of the same problems over and over and over again that just don't make sense. Hand-holding, yes, too much hand-holding isn't great. Not enough hand-holding is also not great, particularly if your game doesn't make sense. And I always felt with Conan it was a little bit lacking. The story was not that great. But what I always thought was, and what I never understood why they didn't implement, is okay, once you get all of the artifacts and you create the key and you escape, the game ends. As far as I know, I've never actually done it because it's so convoluted that it's just like I don't know that I really care anymore. But I do enjoy just running around. Is there somebody up on the roof? No. Sometimes you'll log on and you'll come up here and the ornithopter is actually like its wings or blades are extended for no particular reason, and then it just goes back to being inert. It's really odd. Like there are some kooky things about the game. Also, I probably just want to 20 Ds, nice. Yeah, just so you escape from the game, and then I thought it was going to open up into a lot of the other different areas of Conan, and like some of the other like kind of their grey houses, and you were just going to have more adventure, and it kind of didn't. It just kind of fizzled out. They then created Siptar, but Siptar you can't just go from your character and then like in the same game go from Conan Exiles into Siptar. You can't do that, and it's I just felt like it never really made any sense to me. I've never played Siptar because I don't know that I have any interest in it, certainly at the moment. I will play it at some point, but for the moment I don't know that I'm really that bothered. I enjoy building things in Conan, and I enjoy sort of running around and just like having a good time, but the story is not really anything, and there's not really anywhere new to go. I downloaded the Grim map, so there are maps that are like add-ons that you can run around in, but there's nothing really from the developers. And I always thought that was odd. Like, why would you not create more Conan Exiles? Like there is somewhere on the internet, you would have to look it up, you'd have to Google it. There's like a map of the Conan universe with like all the different like factions and like great houses and like areas where, you know, like the different factions come from and live in. And I never understood why they didn't make more of that. I mean, they made the MMO Conan Unchained, so maybe they just didn't feel like doing more of that. But as far as I know, that game was pretty popular. I played it up until you get to the nighttime thing, and then I didn't really understand how to progress, because again, like sometimes how they design games, I don't know. It could be just a me thing, and it wouldn't shock me if it was. So yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with Dune Awakening. Like if this is all there's going to be, then it's just more the same of Conan Exiles. Exiles, which is good, but like I feel like your games aren't reaching their full potential. Like, would you not then branch out and do like other planets and like other places that we can visit in the Dune universe? Like, I feel like people would enjoy that, and maybe just like figure out, make clear boundaries between PvE and PvP. Trying to put those two groups together is not going to work, and it's causing more. It's causing more problems than I feel like it really needs to. Just have different servers, like you did with Conan. PvP servers, PvE servers. Everybody's going to be happy. The other thing this game doesn't have, like it does with Conan, is I can just play Conan by myself. I can just play like my own thing, and it can be, I can invite people in to play with me, and that's fine. As far as I know, this game doesn't have that either. It doesn't have a creative mode yet either. I'm hoping it's going to get that, because as they add more building sets, that's something that would, you know, that would interest me quite a lot. So yeah, it's a mixed bag. I like it, but I don't know. It feels like there's been a lot of difficulties that didn't really need to be difficulties, and I also wonder if they're just going to stagnate this in the same way that they did with Conan Exiles. Also, as well, I see some of the same mistakes that they made in Conan that I thought they would have learned from with Conan, and I still see them in Dune, and I'm kind of like, okay. So yeah, I don't know. And just to be clear, I'm not saying I don't like the game. I do like the game. I love the hornicopters. The hornicopters are a lot easier to maneuver than I thought that they would be. I'm not generally good with, you know, with flying apparatus, but they're pretty easy to control. Like, if I can do it, then pretty much I would think anybody can do it. And again, thanks to Lonix for helping us to get our first hornicopter. He really did help us a lot to kind of move up. Otherwise, yeah, I would have still been in the first area probably. So yeah, having a pretty good time. The crashes are concerning, and like, it doesn't matter if it's the game doing it or it's my computer doing it. I mean, you know, the concern is the same. Like, it's a little disconcerting. I would, you know, I don't like games crashing that hard. I mean, if a game just crashes and it sends me to desktop, yeah, no problem. Oblivion Remastered has done that a few times. It crashes and it just sends me to desktop, and it's like, okay, like, that's fine. I don't care. Like, it's fine. Like, you either start it up again or you just, you know, you just go and play something else. It's fine. So yeah, I feel like Funcom made things more difficult than they really needed to be. Now, whether or not that's just the way they designed the game, they seem to be the type of people as well, is gamers are saying, we don't like this, and they're kind of going, well, yeah, but, you know, we made the game like this. No. they've bought the game. It doesn't matter, I'm afraid, how you created the game. If the players don't like it, well, they don't like it. You change it. Like, having a vision of a game is fairly normal, but not everybody's going to get your vision. And if enough people don't get your vision, then you need to change it, because they paid the money for your game and they're not happy. So, talking about, well, this is how we made it. And like I said, like trying to force PvPers and PvEers together, it's not going to work. It doesn't. They're two very, very different. They're two very different play styles. I like the idea of. I like the idea of PvP in the same way I like the idea of. Procedural generation. In the idea is interesting, but the implementation a lot of the time just doesn't work. To me, PvP is just signing yourself up for griefing. That's what it is. Do I want to play a game where I'm actively signing up to be griefed? No, I really don't. You will get PvPers that will play fairly, and you can have a good time. But I've played a lot of games with PvP. World of Warcraft, one of the biggest ones, and there are people who just want to grief others. That's the only reason I think that they play PvP, because they get that chance to be able to grief people. And I even suspect amongst the PvPers of you that there will be some of you being like, I know PvPers like that, and you do, you know that they exist, and they ruin your experience, and they ruin the whole idea of PvP, because people just don't want to sign up to that. Nobody in their right mind would. Well, unless you're a masochist or something. Like, just nobody's going to enjoy that. So yeah, I just think once again, Funcom of how they go about things sometimes is just leaves you scratching your head a little bit. Again, it's not a bad game. I like it. I don't know that I like it more than Conan. I've come to the realization that guns are not maybe my thing. I think I enjoy more like swords and daggers and sorcery and dragons and that kind of thing. I think that is more my sort of thing. Having said that, I do. In this world, you've got the swords and the guns, which is quite an interesting style. Kind of reminds me of Star Wars a little bit, and I do sometimes, whilst I've been playing, kind of get like Star Wars kind of vibes. Both me and Lonix were looking this up, and this game, Dune, the story, was written before Star Wars. So I'm wondering if, during Star Wars' creation, there were some ideas borrowed from Dune. And to be honest, some of the very best science fiction has borrowed ideas from one another. I mean, it's fairly normal. I think everybody does that. Yeah, I think that's fairly normal. So yeah, I wanted to make a quick video as to what I think about it. I would definitely implore you to to watch other YouTubers and see what they're saying about Dune. You know, don't just go with one person's take on something. Go with like lots of people's takes on it, and and formulate your own ideas. I don't know if this game is on Game Pass or not. I'm not sure. If it is, then it might be well worth you giving it a go to see what you feel. I think that they did the demo where you could like customize your character, which didn't actually work for me. I did it. I made a video on it. It didn't work out for me, which is not really that big of a deal. But I feel like that they could have done like another demo once the game came out, just to give people a little taste of it, to see whether they like it or not. I think I don't know. It really is difficult for me to say whether who's going to enjoy it and who won't. I think some people will. I think other people, I'm not sure whether they will enjoy it or not. Some people will, some people won't. But I definitely think Funcom just causing unnecessary nonsense between PvP and PvE certainly muddied the waters a bit and made a lot of people like uncertain as to whether they wanted to keep playing. Why is it down it's weird. I don't know if anybody's been on. I wasn't. Swift hasn't really been playing. I don't know whether it's his thing or not. And as I said in the Conan video, he's been going through his own things, as we all do in life. It's sad, but it is. That's life, really. I'm not sure how you get around that. So yeah, he hasn't really been on, and I've been fairly concerned about my computer hard crashing. It's just that's something that's really upsets me. It's not good for your computer, and it's not an experience that I want. So yeah, and to be fair as well, it's been so hot lately that just the idea of putting on a game just has been a bit of a struggle, because obviously whilst I'm playing that game, my computer's cranking out like hot air, yeah, not something I'm always wanting to do. So yeah. Also, I think I think Lonix kind of made the guild himself, because I think he was one of the first ones to start playing the game and got massively ahead of everybody. I don't know whether some of his other friends did as well. I'm not entirely sure. But obviously he's quite ahead, and he fancied himself as Harkonnen. So our guild is Harkonnen. I don't remember all the lore. I don't remember all the houses. I'm also somebody who doesn't believe that one side is good and the other side is bad, and that's kind of the end of it. Generally, in these situations, that's not how that works. It's kind of the lesser evil a lot of the time. But the Harkonnens don't particularly strike me as, they wear a lot of black. They look extremely pale. They might as well be vampires. And they're quite into slavery. That's, I mean, to be honest, the other houses might be as well. But yeah, I'm not really, I'm not really sure about Harkonnen. I'll be honest with you. I also feel like we need an extra floor up here. Like, it looks so high, but nothing's really happening. I don't think I should modify the rest of the house, actually. Because, to be fair, it's not our house. I already built like the bedrooms on the top, which I probably shouldn't have. But I think luckily Lonix kind of liked them, and to be honest, they're pretty easy for me to take down should he have not liked them. So so it was fine. The one thing I wasn't keen on was this kind of foot here, but I felt it like hanging, just hanging off the side of the building just didn't really work. I felt like you needed to have the pillar. It probably needs a light, if anything. Yeah. But yeah, once it starts to cool down a bit more, I will try and play a bit more, because I do want to keep playing and see, how much better it gets. There's different types of ornicopters. There is the quad bikes. I do really like the quad bikes. I am very much a fan of, usually because I'm not very good at driving in games. Like, I'm really not good at driving. And usually because the cars in games can be quite difficult to maneuver. So I do tend to, like in Cyberpunk, for instance, I didn't like the cars at all. The cars just don't feel great to me to drive, and I just crash into all sorts of things. Not really something I want to do. So I found that I enjoyed the motorbikes much more in Cyberpunk. I'm actually playing a modded playthrough at the moment. I've only played a little bit because the modded version I wanted, which was on it was on Wabberjack, didn't work. I installed it twice, and it just wouldn't run. So I went to Nexus. Nexus is probably a whole other video. I have my issues with Nexus, and apparently they've just changed hands. So in the coming months or years, we will see how that works out. I think a lot of people are quite rightfully so nervous, and Nexus has done some things over the years which, it's not really gone down well with people. They tend to get far more into the politics of what people should or should not be allowed to run on their own games, which doesn't affect anybody else. You cannot mod a massively multiplayer game. I mean, I can mod Conan, but only if I'm playing it by myself, which you are able to. Or if I play it with friends, they can't join if they don't have the same mods, and so therefore it makes like a level playing field. Like generally speaking, in most games, multiplayer games, you cannot mod them because it's not fair, and cheating of any kind in multiplayer games is something I'm dead against. I think it ruins the game for everybody. I would rather die every 5 seconds in Call of Duty, and be okay with that, rather than have people cheating. That's just how I feel about it. I don't like it because I think it ruins the experience for so many people. And you're not playing on a level playing field. I mean, yes, there are always going to be people better at video games than you. That's just how that is. Some people, they just naturally got the dexterity. They're just naturally better. Some have had the time to just get really, really good. The whole get good thing. It is how it is. But I think people are okay with that, so long as that person isn't cheating. When you've got cheaters, it just, no. It doesn't matter how good you get naturally. If they're cheating, you're still never going to win. It doesn't work. So I'm not sure how I got into this conversation, but yeah. So I enjoyed the bikes in Cyberpunk. And I've been enjoying these little bikes. This vehicle is on loan to us again from Lonix. You see how much he's been really helping us out, because we wouldn't have been able to make this vehicle for quite a long time. I've been eaten by the worm twice, which how many hours have I played? I played 94 hours. I've played 94 hours. I've been eaten twice. I don't think that's too bad. If I'm honest. But yeah, and yeah, I've been having a pretty good time. So the first time I got eaten was on one of these. I was really, really embarrassed because it was such a waste of resources. And obviously at the start, like when you're playing by yourself and you make a mistake, it's like, okay, there's only me to blame, but it's only me that loses out. But obviously when you're playing with other people, the problem is compounded a lot more. I lost quite a lot of resources, so I was pretty embarrassed about that one. And it was just the fact that I was going across an open expanse, and some of the open expanses are really you just gotta go and hope and pray that you get to the other side, because the worm is a lot faster than you think it is. So I lost the bike, and then the second time I got murdered on foot. But if you die once, your very first time, when you die to the worm on foot, you get all the parts you need to make a bike. So that was really nice. That bike recently got destroyed because the game hard crashed. And when I went back to it a few days later, because I was just like, okay, I'm done with this, because it had done it like a few times in a row, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And a few days later I went back to check, and I think my bike just got naturally destroyed. But it was the one that we kind of got for free from the game, so I wasn't quite that bothered. And we have more than enough materials to make more bikes should we need to. And we've got 2 at the moment anyway, so it's fine. We've got the booster bike, and then we've got like a carrying bike. I think the carrying bike is mine, Well, I mean, they're all everybody's. Like everything belongs to everybody. There is no mine. Um, but I think I tend to favour this one because it has storage, and you know I'm a loot goblin. I like picking everything up. I like collecting stuff. I like being helpful and I like being useful because I feel like that's the best way I can contribute. I'm not the best at like killing and fighting. I'm not that great at that. So I try to play to my strengths. Swift tends to like the faster bike. So he tends to use that one, and I tend to use this one. Again, playing to our different strengths. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick video on Dune Awakening. I hope my hopes for this game are. I mean, it's not been out for very long, and it's had some quite a lot of teething problems, which is fine. Like, it's a new game, like, it's fine. I'm just hoping that they don't let this game stagnate like they have with Conan Exiles. There is so much that they could have done with Conan, and I just feel like they didn't. The Isle of Siptar could have been you free yourself from the exiled lands. And then you go into the Isle of Siptar, and then you explore that. That could have been really good. And then after Siptar, you could have maybe like gone up the map and like gone into like different territories and had different adventures. I felt like that could have been so much better for Conan Exiles. But again, Funcom. Well, we have our vision. It's like, okay, that's fine, guys. But if your vision isn't what people are looking for, your game will stagnate. And maybe if you're okay with that, well, fine, fair enough, I suppose. But it's kind of sad because I felt like Conan had so much more to give. I think it still is very popular with people, but they just see it not really going anywhere or doing anything. Plus, it had a plethora of problems. Also, some of the monetization just didn't really hit very well. Some of the items in the shop are they're a little overpriced, I think, for what they are. And that's going to vary from player to player. You might be very happy with it, and that, hey, that's fine. That's going to differ from player to player, but overall, I think it was a bit of the response to some of the monetization has been mixed, and may have pushed some people away from the game, which is a shame, because I feel like it had a lot more to give. Where they're gonna go with Conan, I'm not sure. They've been taking time out and not like doing any more additions to the game while they fix some things, which I think is a very is a very smart move and a good idea. I'm hoping that they're going to do more with the game, and I'm hoping that they will open up more for Dune Awakening, because the story itself of Dune is, I think there was a film, I think there was in 2025. I haven't seen it. I probably need to watch it. I remember watching one a long time ago, 2020 maybe, I think there was a Dune movie, and I watched that, and it was all right. It was pretty good. So I think there's a lot here that people would really like. It's just, how do you handle it in the best way? And I think so far it's been a bit of a rocky start, but hopefully the game goes from strength to strength. It hasn't been out for very long, so it's got plenty of time to course correct. I know Funcom, and I sometimes think they forget the fun in their name, and I think they sometimes stick to their guns a little when maybe they should be like, yeah, okay, you know what, you don't like it, that's fine, then let's change it. And to be fair, on the PvP thing, they have been making moves. Apparently the deep desert now is divided up, but I that has now, from what people are saying, I haven't got to that area, so I don't know what it is. I don't know why you go there. I don't know what's going on there. But from what people have been saying, Lonix in particular, who's now in that area, he's doing the deep deserts. He said that a lot of the changes have made the area much smaller, which I can kind of understand. So much of it now is, if I understand, PvE, and then the rest of it is PvP. But you've still got all PvP bits, which again, it just I don't know. It seems like they're just really trying to be quite stubborn and just like have their cake and eat it. It's just like, guys, just make PvP servers, make everything PvP, and then just make PvE servers and make everything PvE. You did it for Conan Exiles. There are PvP servers, there are PvE servers. Just do that. I don't know whether it's. I don't know if it's the way that they're. I don't know if it's the way their servers are structured. Maybe that they don't want to have lots of different servers. Maybe it costs them too much money. I don't know. But I mean, the game was what, 50? I think I paid. So there were 3 versions of it. There was a version for £42, which isn't bad. Yeah, it's not bad. And then there was the £58 version, which is the one I bought. You get this like outfit and I think we get a season pass as well. So there's some more DLC that will come out. Hopefully that's going to be like different areas and maps and things like that. I'm hoping that's what it's going to be. If it's stupid cosmetic stuff, I don't know that I care. But there was a £58 one, and then there was one that was like, I think it was like 60, 70, which is quite a lot of money. I mean, and I think quite a lot of people have bought the game because I think many of these people like are Conan, are people that enjoy Conan, or they're people who like the story of Dune. And I don't know if there are any other Dune video games. I mean, there might be. I don't know of them. So it could be a combination of that. But I think quite a lot of people have bought the game. So I think they should be doing okay for money. Will you shut up, neighbours? I have the worst neighbours. I would imagine this is what it's like living in the Bronx. That's just a joke. If you live in the Bronx, it's just a joke. It's just. But yeah. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say, really. What I've been thinking about the game. And you know, feel free to correct me. I'm not an expert on any of this. You may feel very, very different. I hope you're having a good time. If you're not having a good time, you know, like let us know. You know, but you know, nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming for you. So please don't come for like other people. You know, it doesn't need to be like that. You know, we can talk about what we like and what we don't like about video games without it being, you know, without it being like that. So yeah, that's the video. Just want to show you around the base. It's a very nice base. I've actually I got the tool and taken a copy from it. So if we do head up this way to where our good friend Lonix is, then you know we already have a copy of this base to put somewhere around here. Although it doesn't look like there's a lot of flat space. Although this doesn't look like a big area, but it actually is. There's a lot of buildings around here, but there is also a lot of buildings around here, so you know. I'm also wondering if I could get on the top of here and map this area, because I think I do need to do some mapping. I don't know a lot of these areas. I also need to do this area as well, I think. Misra Tahoe. Also, I've been finding as well that the story so far is it's a little better. It's a little better than Conan. It's a little more cohesive. There's definitely a bit more to do. Like there's actual quests to do and like people to go and take out. Like it's got like a lot more structure in terms of like actual quests and stuff. I often felt like with Conan you just run around and kind of discover things, which it's not always the worst thing, but then again it's kind of like trying to find that balance, like, you know, too much hand-holding, not enough hand-holding, like trying to find that balance. I think they've done a lot better in Dune Awakening. As for the story, I'm not entirely certain yet, but then I haven't gone everywhere and been everywhere. I've done a fair amount of quests now, so I'm kind of getting an idea. But yeah, I don't know that I can speak on that yet, because I don't know that I quite. I don't know that I quite get it yet. So that's definitely something. So yeah, so that's going to do it, guys. So until the next one, bye for now, really, and I'll see you on the next video, whatever that is. Bye for now.